Hello, this is Max. In the future, a hyper-realistic computer game is created, and players are invited to participate for the sake of a prize. Watch until the end to find out how it all ended. Don't forget to subscribe. The movie is set in a technologically advanced future where virtual reality has become indistinguishable from the real world. A major tech company organizes an exclusive virtual reality game where whatever happens in the game also happens in reality. 8 civilians from New York City are selected to beta test the game and have a chance to win $100,000. Despite the random and suspicious nature of the offer, all 8 of them decide to participate. Upon meeting each other, they discover that they are all experienced gamers. The game organizer restricts their interaction with other humans and instructs them to sign a contract before getting dressed in virtual reality armor. They are only allowed to use their gaming names and minimize personal interaction. They wear motion suits and get scanned before putting on their armor, which connects with their suits to enhance their virtual experience. One player named Terrorist hesitates due to his ironic gaming name and doubts the safety of the technology. The others try to convince him to leave, but the doors won't open unless all players participate. Eventually, Terrorist agrees to join the group. As the game starts, the room transforms into the setting of an abandoned building, complete with army uniforms and erased tattoos or scars on the players' bodies. The sudden change surprises and disorients them, as if they had teleported to another place. They realize that their surroundings are no longer real when one player's hand passes through objects and another player sees the same room after opening his helmet. Outside the window, they witness a battle in a destroyed city, with a helicopter engaged in combat. One player, Reaper, is particularly excited about the virtual reality experience, despite appearing foolish to others. As they ponder their next move, a virtual army captain appears and orders them to gather. Although initially intimidating, they realize he is not real when they remove their helmets and return to the White Room.
Follow me!
Fascinated by the technology, they decide to continue exploring the game. They grab guns and test them by shooting at bottles. The captain demonstrates the vulnerability of their armor by shooting and eliminating a player with a single hit. He warns them not to get hit again, suggesting that a second hit would eliminate them. The captain explains that the building they are in has been overrun by highly trained terrorists. The player's objective is to fight the terrorists and reach the ground floor. Each player receives a medikit to aid in case of injury. The game starts on the 25th floor, and the players cautiously begin their exploration. They encounter a terrorist, and Shooter skillfully eliminates him, revealing his military training. This brings a sense of relief to the group, knowing they have a skilled member among them. From this point on, they become more cautious in their actions. As they progress, reaching level 24, they encounter an increased threat involving high voltage. They acquire new weapons as the levels decrease and the dangers intensify. Altus celebrates his first destroy and becomes increasingly violent with each shot, taking down numerous opponents. Reaper, on the other hand, has the fewest eliminates and nearly falls victim to a terrorist before being saved by Shooter. However, during the process, Shooter sustains a gunshot and loses his armor, leaving him vulnerable. Taylor, who was not meant to be in the game and had come to her friend's place, panics and breaks into tears. Mustang comforts her, but then Cox, another member of the group, gets shot twice and falls to the ground in pain. This confuses everyone because the suits were not supposed to cause pain. Even when Cox removes his helmet, the pain persists. He receives an injection from the medkit, which finally eases his suffering. Cox's experience confirms that the game is not what they initially believed. The first gunshot may not harm them, but a second one would be fatal. Some speculate that they are part of a reality show, but none of them wish to continue playing.
Real shocks. Yeah.
Terrorist attempts to remove his helmet but realizes he is trapped. In a panic, Alta accuses Shooter of being involved in the deadly game, prompting Shooter to storm off to another room. Unbeknownst to the players, the next level of the game has already begun, and the area is swarming with terrorists. Shooter is shot in the back without realizing it. Meanwhile, the other players come under attack but manage to evade the bullets. Taylor tries to descend to a lower level, but the game restricts her as they must complete the previous level first. Reaper thinks quickly and throws a grenade at the enemy, eliminating them all. In the ensuing silence, they return to Shooter and find him dead in the hallway, confirming that player deaths are possible. This heightens everyone's anxiety. They must proceed to the next level soon, but terrorists suggest trying to remove their helmets first. The chief warns them to stop, but Cox and terrorists refuse to listen. They forcefully attempt to remove their helmets and bring the virtual captain. He pushes terrorist to the ground and repeatedly kicks him, commanding him never to break the rules again. The group reluctantly accepts that the only way to survive is by winning the game. They descend 2 more floors and reach the 20th level. At this stage, they must use knives instead of guns due to a gas leak that could cause an explosion with any gunshot. In the initial moments of the game, the chief narrowly avoids being killed thanks to Alta's intervention. Alta proves to be the most dangerous member, willing to do anything to survive. Inspired by his actions, the group performs well in the subsequent levels. However, during their journey, they also deplete their supply of medikits. At a certain point, Mustang is left with the last medikit, but both Reaper and Cox are injured. After contemplating whom to save, Terrorist steps in and uses his last medikit to help Cox. As they progress through several more levels, their medikit reserves dwindle rapidly. Terrorist grows increasingly desperate and begins banging on a glass wall, attempting to escape the building. While he succeeds to some extent, the virtual captain intervenes and brutally attacks him, breaking his leg. With an injury, Terrorist becomes a burden to the group. Alta suggests leaving him behind, but the others insist on taking him along. Ultimately, Terrorist hides under a table, urging the rest to continue the game. He gradually loses consciousness and succumbs to his injuries. In the next level, the group faces their toughest challenge yet as they find themselves outnumbered by terrorists. Taylor, who has yet to score eliminate, hides in a room while the others engage in combat. However, toward the end of the level, she finally eliminates an enemy and appears ready to take on more. Once they complete the level, the group decides to take a brief rest. During their conversation about their lives outside the game, they realize that none of them have close family or friends who would deeply care if they were to die and never return home. This revelation fuels their anger, preparing them for the next round. Upon reaching the subsequent level, they encounter the captain mistreating a prisoner. He reveals that a bomb is wired into the building's foundation, and only the prisoner knows the code to disarm it. Their new objective is to extract the code from the prisoner. The task is relatively straightforward, so the group immediately sets to work. The chief presses buttons that subject the prisoner to electrocution. In his weakest moment, the prisoner whispers the code, Pushkin. As soon as Reaper enters the code, the lights go out. When they come back on, a voice warns them that the explosive has been triggered and the entire building will detonate in the next 30 minutes. Alta panics and blames Reaper for entering the wrong code. The only way to stop the explosion is by manually deactivating it in the parking lot, which means they have 30 minutes to descend the remaining 9 floors. Taylor eliminates the man who provided them with the incorrect password and urges everyone to hurry. Suddenly, Alta loses control and starts physically attacking Reaper in frustration. He only stops when the captain grants them an advantage by opening the elevator for them. The elevator stops on the 5th floor, but it closes before Alta and Reaper can exit. Initially anxious, they realize that the elevator is descending further. They eventually disembark on the 3rd floor, with only 25 minutes remaining until detonation. Reaper suggests waiting for the others to join them downstairs, but Alta opposes the idea. He points his gun at Reaper, using him as a shield to reach the other side of the room. At this point, Alta is solely focused on surviving and is willing to harm his teammates to achieve that goal. They encounter an enemy, and Reaper runs out of ammunition. Ultimately, he is shot and killed while Alta flees from behind him. In hiding, Alta cannot help but shed tears for the person he is becoming, but it doesn't extinguish his will to live. Soon after, the rest of the group arrives, having completed the upper 2 levels. They discover Reaper's lifeless body, but remain unaware that Alta was responsible for his death. They strategically eliminate the remaining enemies on the 3rd floor. While Taylor searches the medical room for more medikits and finds one, Alta arrives and attempts to take it from her. A fight ensues, resulting in Alta eliminating Taylor without remorse. Moments later, Cox encounters Alta and consoles him, believing he feels remorse for their friends' deaths. However, Cox discovers Taylor's lifeless body and Alta's name scrawled on the wall in her blood. Learning that Alta is the killer, Cox attacks him, leading to a physical confrontation. At one point, Cox strikes Alta with a fire extinguisher, giving the impression that Alta is attempting to remove his helmet. Following the prior warning, Alta is viciously attacked and eliminated as punishment. Now, only Cox, Mustang, and D-Chief remain out of the original 8 players. They equip themselves and swiftly descend to the first floor, finally reaching the parking lot. The area is teeming with enemies who relentlessly open fire on them. As the group valiantly presses forward, Cox sustains a gunshot wound. He possesses a medikit to save himself, but upon witnessing Mustang being shot, he selflessly uses the last medikit on her before succumbing to his own injuries. With 11 seconds left before the explosive detonates, D-Chief rushes to it and deactivates it. The helmet ceases functioning, and the two find themselves transported back to the White Room. D-Chief is suddenly surrounded by a group of soldiers, but displays no surprise. It is then revealed that he is the organizer of the game, someone who toys with people's lives for entertainment. Before Mustang can react, she is sedated and taken away. We witness the erasure of data pertaining to the deceased players, eliminating evidence of their deaths. The scene transitions to the actual parking lot of the building, where Mustang lies unconscious as her friends' lifeless bodies are placed into body bags for disposal. Upon awakening, D-Chief stands before her, holding a bag filled with the prize money. He wants her to forget everything and enjoy life as he does. In return, she must promise to keep everything a secret, and she will be sedated once again and taken home. Surprisingly, Mustang agrees and bids him farewell. A man approaches to sedate her once more, but Mustang catches him off guard and fights back. Eventually overpowering him, she shoots the lights, plunging the area into darkness. Capitalizing on the obscurity, she eliminates all of the chief's men, leaving him without any backup. In a final confrontation, she hurls the bag at D-Chief, choosing not to use the money that has caused so much death. Finally, she exits the building as the sole survivor of the game. If you are interested in such films, please proceed to the next video on the screen and also share your thoughts about this film in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe. Goodbye.